break. I don't see any reason for it. So we're going to go right into the next game.
All right, let's go. That's it. Ready?
Yes, let us indeed do that. As we are behind schedule at the moment. Even the ZVZ has turned out pretty epic, and I suppose people are enjoying that, but that's good. We'll be going in probably directly into the next series after this one.
Yep, and then hopefully that one's a little bit faster, but something tells me it's not gonna be.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, we are here for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we were expecting one way or the other. And we're about ready to get started on this map. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the SHOUTcraft Plateau, and I bring you Alternate Attacks DarKFoRcE. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southeast of this map. Versus his opponent, it is Millennium Stephano. He is in the pink trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, is that this map is kind of difficult to scout, and aggression can happen at any time because there's no force fields or anything. Even though you still have to attack up the ramp, Lings, man, when they get up there first behind, in front of roaches, sorry, it's very easy for you just to mess up all the formation that you've got on the higher ground. The thing, though, that's going to topple that is that they've spawned close by air. So it's very much so easier to scout because overlords normally, you can't get them even close to the base. You can have them in a line to the natural, and that's about all you can do. But on this map, you can actually have an overlord just outside his main base and poke in and be like, all right, no lair, okay, cool. And then maybe see, oh, okay, there's a Baling Nest or Roach Warren or whatever you want to see. And so in that sense, by scouting each other first as well, it's going to be I think the game will play out a lot longer, basically, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a possibility, and we'll see if they decide to go for the same kind of style there, one way or the other. We will find out shortly, and often what you see in ZVZ as well, and this is an interesting decision here by DarKFoRcE to go with the spawning, well, you went extractor first into spawning pool, is that you'll often see them kind of playing chicken with each other, like, okay, I'm going to build mine one later than you then.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because, of course, they can take advantage of the distance, and that gives them a slight economic edge over their opponent.
Yeah, and the thing, that's actually a really good point, because that's usually how a lot of Zerg versus Zergs go, because you just be like, all right, well, how far are we going to go? And then you actually can end up with like a 16 hatch versus 18 pool or something.
Yeah.
But in this sense, DarKFoRcE is like, whatever, man, I'm using my build every single game. It doesn't matter what you do. So DarKFoRcE is very comfortable with his build. He's taking out a gas again, is getting speed again. The thing is that the advantage DarKFoRcE's build gives him over Stephano's is map control. He can hide things a lot easier through having Lings all over the map. He can all of a sudden spring out with 20 Lings, and Stephano will only know via overlords in the center of the map. On the other hand, he doesn't have the best economy, but if he snipes a drone or two with 4 Lings, he's back right in the running again.
That is exactly true, and that's just how ZVZ goes, isn't it? Right. 4 Lings now on the field for DarKFoRcE, and 4 in it. We'll see if Stephano goes for the full 6. He's actually putting a second queen in, so perhaps not. And I don't think that's going to make all that much of a difference.
Yeah, he's taking a bit of a gamble there, not building 6 or even 8, because he knows that DarKFoRcE goes for that expansion every single game now. So usually you'd want to build more, but against an aggressive player, but he's hiding the drone.
He is.
Very smart from Stephano.
Yeah, I love watching the kind of eloquence, I suppose, of Stephano's play. It's very, very subtle in places.
Like right now, he's got to protect those drones. But
that's very, very true.
He does have 4 Lings, but he's idly watching them.
DarKFoRcE goes for it, but
good.
It's almost like Stephano drew him in there to do extra damage. And like in terms of the health, we're going down to the health now. That's how close it is. Stephano has an advantage there, and DarKFoRcE realizes that he can't go for it. Spinecrawler now going down. The queen remains alive. Doesn't, of course, miss an inject because Stephano never does. And then you're in a situation where Stephano has an economic lead.
Really early Roach Warren going down for Stephano here. I think what we're going to be seeing from Stephano is a Roachling timing together, where speed finishes and he builds like 8 roaches or whatever. Because he's not going to build a Baling Nest. His gas banking up right now is for roaches. So I think that's what we're going to see here. And a Baling Nest goes down for DarKFoRcE. And Lings and Balings are not that good against Roach and Lings, to be honest.
They're not.
So,
no, they're not.
Oh, he gets a Lings in a scout. That is so big. Because now he knows, oh, you don't have a Baling Nest anymore? There's the Roach Warren. All right, cool. I don't need my Baling Nest. I can keep it for later on, but I probably want to be just, he even cancels it. Just builds a Roach Warren immediately. So that's absolutely fantastic
it's
scouting.
Crucial. Yeah, it really,
Very
really
good
is
scouting.
good. And the best thing about that is you might think, oh, but the Roach one's late. Well, it doesn't really matter all that much because...
Travel distance.
Yeah, exactly. Travel distance is what plays in here. Yeah. Roaches don't move all that quickly.
You don't get your expenses paid if you don't have Roach speed.
No,
so.
you do not, quite frankly. Yeah,
That's really good for DarKFoRcE now. So even though the Roach one's late, by the time it finishes, he'll have Roaches popped out by the time Stephano's Roaches get to his main. So in this, everything that's going on right now is so mind game heavy. We see Stephano now building drones because his timing attack can't work now because he's been scouted, and he's building a lot of drones right now. And we even see DarKFoRcE. He won't build Roaches really until he sees stuff coming, and now he sees it. He'll probably start his Roach production. But this is a feint attack from Stephano. He's faking that timing, and he's just going to return home. And he forced 5 Roaches out, which DarKFoRcE would not have built if he hadn't have pushed out, which would have been drones. So very, very high level play by both of these players.
There's no real doubt about that, honestly. And anyone that believes this is not extremely high level ZVZ is insane. These two players are amazingly good in their fields, and that is becoming blindingly obvious. DarKFoRcE cleans that one up right there, and of course has those 5 Roaches, and they're realizing, you know what? We're kind of surplus to requirement. I think that DarKFoRcE needs to be doing a little bit of downsizing right here, and it's just the way the economy is, man. We have to make cutbacks. And
DarKFoRcE scouted the 4th gas as well. Even though that may seem very minute to a lot of people, that actually means a lot because now he knows that timing definitely isn't coming. Stephano's teching up. He's getting gas. So he immediately says, all right, well, if you're going to tech up and take gas, I'm going to build a 3rd base, which he's done very nicely over here. And the Overlord did scout it for Stephano. He didn't scout the expansion planting, but he saw the drone leave. So that another timing open for Stephano if he wants to punish that 3rd base or if he wants to take his own, which is what he's doing right now.
Exactly. That is exactly what he wants to do. DarKFoRcE having a look around and seeing what he can see. He finds acid saliva. Not exactly what those lings were looking for, really.
And we see Stephano again going for the Carapace upgrade again early, starting to go into 2-1 and then 2-2.
Always does this.
And DarKFoRcE, just doesn't get it early at all, and rather keeps his gas to tech up into Infestors a lot faster. So that again is that timing where Roaches are a lot stronger for Stephano compared to DarKFoRcE, but DarKFoRcE can have Infestors out faster.
Yeah, exactly. A Carapace upgrade not really all that popular, simply because when you think about it, the maths doesn't really add up. The +1 attack seems to be much more beneficial there, but Stephano obviously thinks it's worthwhile, and it did kick him pretty hard in the last game. It just wasn't quite enough to really make the difference.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of Roaches are being produced now by Stephano. He's at 57 drones compared to 49 of DarKFoRcE. So DarKFoRcE has built enough drones for 2 bases and is now building towards his 3rd base. And Stephano already built some for his 3rd base earlier, so got a little bit of a lead in terms of economics there. But right now we do have the infestation pit coming down for DarKFoRcE once again.
That we do.
And a lot of drones being made too. And Stephano hasn't chosen to tech up again. He's going to do the same thing we saw in the last 2 games.
Build Roaches.
Build Roaches. BR. You know his interview from IPL4 qualifier?
I remember that one, yeah. How do you win on ladder? How do you become the best Zerg player in the world?
BR. Build Roaches, man. Or BSR, I guess it would
come be. Come BR, my lord. Come BR. Yeah. Simple as that. And DarKFoRcE, in the meantime, is, of course, trying to work on his drone count, but not as much as I would have expected. Still Stephano there with an economic lead, regardless of the fact that they're now 3 base. So DarKFoRcE is going to be on 6 gas very shortly. That gives him a lot of Infestor potential.
Yes, most definitely. And if... Oh, Stephano, wow, taking a 4th base.
How many times do you see this in ZVZ?
Never.
I mean, no, you don't. You just don't.
Basically, taking the 4th base, obviously, it can act as a macro hatch as well. And this is obviously you're going to see it because you wouldn't really scout for a 4th base, to be honest. See, it just turns around and comes back. So it can act as a macro hatch, but what it also can do is you just jump so far ahead with gas.
Yeah.
Because then you take the gases on your 3rd base, you take the gases on your 4th base, and then all of a sudden you have double everything in terms of gas, double upgrade, you can go hive and everything. So that's something that DarKFoRcE is in the dark with at the moment because it is not really expected, because it opens up timings for Stephano to be hit against. DarKFoRcE can hit him with timings, but without scouting it, that can't really happen here. We'll have to see what that does entail into, really, because nothing's really happening from Stephano at this current point in time.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy, honestly. This entire series has been crazy in terms of ZBZ, and we're seeing things that generally don't happen. The amount of bases being taken from both players is extremely unusual. For a ZBZ to go past 2 base, that's fairly rare. For ZBZ to go past 3 base, that's now unheard of, and this is happening regularly in this series right now. And it's not just random base building either. This is entirely considered strategy.
And I'm just trying to work out what Stephano's trying to do now. Looking through his vision, he's kind of looking for angles that he can attack from. And likewise over for DarKFoRcE is just, he can see everything because he has an overload in the middle. And he now spots the 4th base of Stephano, but it doesn't mean anything right now. It's literally just a macro hatch for when it starts running up. It's not mining anything, so it's not going to trigger him to do anything right now. But we do see Stephano going into an infestation pit and building spines in the center of the map. It looks like Stephano's choice is probably to start teching towards Broodlords here and start to build up his later game and sit in a more defensive posture. So we'll have to see what that choice actually is as this game does go on. But multi-prong attack with Borrow and movement as well.
Yep, he went for it earlier, but that's a good fungal right there in the center of that big ball of roaches. But the Infestor's taking some fire in the process, and there's a large force coming in from Stephano. It's huge. And admittedly, the Borrow's not going to come into play because of the Overseers that DarKFoRcE built everywhere. He saw that, but except he's forgotten about that one group of roaches right there. It's okay, the Overseer's coming in to clean that up there, and they will be eliminated. So they haven't done a huge amount of damage. It's going to do a little bit of damage to the mineral line, and then roach on roach action. One set of roaches looks prettier than the others.
Not with fungal growth.
No, they don't look pretty anymore. Your little pink crystals have now been covered in goop, and DarKFoRcE trying to hold up against this. Thing is, like, fungal helps, certainly, but roaches have a lot of health, and DarKFoRcE is able to drive that one away, but takes a lot of losses of his own.
It's a big difference Infestors make, man. Look at the difference. I mean, he's never had that higher roach count, but with Infestors, it's just such a different game.
He certainly has it now.
And now we see Stephano building his own Infestors. He has to. And you can't fight roach versus non. I mean, you can't fight roach Infestor with only roaches.
Yeah, you've got to hit a timing to get to there before he gets a large number of Infestors out. Once the large number of Infestors is there, as I think we saw last game as well, you just can't stay on roach alone. And those tunneling claws are not going to help at all. As I said, there's 3 Overseers.
Oh,
hello.
He's going to get caught here. He's got fewer roaches than DarKFoRcE. There's fungal growth as well. She's going to hold them there.
Oh my. That is a really good engagement there for DarKFoRcE. Absolutely fantastic. And Stephano's going all the way for the main with this. Wanting to do a load of damage.
That's nice.
Oh, no carapace upgrade for you, sir. And he might even take out the roach swarm as well. With DarKFoRcE is... What's DarKFoRcE doing? He's not responding to that, and he loses the roach warren as a direct result. And Stephano's okay with this. He wants to kill tech, he wants to kill economy.
Yeah, Stephano's got no gas. Look at his minerals. 2,000 compared to 300. He's doing a lot of harassment, but he can't really build an army right now. Even though roaches aren't that gas intensive, this could be actually a lot of danger for Stephano to lose just to a counterattack here. He has to be so careful. He's taking both gases at the north base immediately. He knows he has to.
Well, that infestation pit is gonna fall. There's the boat. Killy. There it goes. And wow, I mean, just the amount of tech that's been sniped off here is huge. The DarKFoRcE has taken quite a lot of losses. He lost 21 drones. That's something to consider there. I don't know. I mean, this counterattack is going to be strong.
Spines, Infestors.
DarKFoRcE's got 61 roaches. This is going to be a really hard counterattack. If Stephano holds this, he's in an amazing position.
He just needs to keep hitting lava injects, keep building roaches. He's got a lot of drones right now. His spines are going to help out a lot. And so, oh my god, that's a great fungal growth.
Yeah, that's massive. That's absolutely massive. A second one as well. They don't even get split up. The fungals spread across this. Stephano goes up against a wider arc. I can't even fit this on the screen. This is so big. And DarKFoRcE trying to push his way through here, but Stephano holds pretty damn well. His Infestor count is really high. Micro is excellent, and DarKFoRcE is thrown back.
I remember that +2 carapace is really kicking in now.
Oh, it now is kicked in, definitely.
So the 0 carapace right now, and all of a sudden Stephano just launches back. He's got his 4th base mining, and gas is taken from it as well. And now his resources are looking a lot more balanced. He's going to hive. He's going to start 3-3. Stephano has now taken control of that game, and yes, he held on to that counterattack, and now he's looking in great shape, and sniping all that tech has incredibly hurt DarKFoRcE, man. He's stuck down now. He's trying to recover, and Stephano, man.
Stephano's Z-Tech just kicked in, yo, and you know what? It's doing the job. Infested Terrans now going off, and that is a nice little bit of wasted DPS from DarKFoRcE as Stephano now moves in. Only enough Infested Terrans to make the difference here. Oh, that's quite a lot of damage coming in, and Stephano rolling over the remainder of DarKFoRcE's defenses now, and this is going to be hard to hold.
Yeah, this looks over now.
The split is fantastic.
Oh, Stephano is so good.
Oh, that is hard to watch. My god, the Infestors get brutalized. Stephano is almost maxed. DarKFoRcE is about to go out of this game by the looks of it.
Yeah, what a crazy Zerg versus Zerg. And
Brilliant series.
anybody thinks Zerg versus Zerg is boring? Well,
No.
I guess you need to think again, because this was crazy.
G to the G. There you go. And Stephano takes the series 2-1 against DarKFoRcE.
Yeah, really good series.
Incredible. Or is it magnifique, perhaps?
Magnifique.
Magnifique. It was good.
Magnificent.
It was good.
Yeah, very good from Stephano there. Very, very good. And that, like we talked about earlier, is when you win the first game in a group stage, it's so important because now you've got a bit of comfort area. Knowing that you won that first game, pressure isn't on you, which it definitely is going to be on ThorZane and DarKFoRcE now. And what is the third game going to be, by the way?
We're about to find out. I'm going to have a look at our schedule right now.
DarKFoRcE versus
playing
ThorZane.
Yep. Basically, a lot of these guys said that they wanted to play their games back-to-back. Like, they're more comfortable with that. They get into the rhythm. It's going to be DarKFoRcE versus ThorZane. ThorZane was actually the only one of the lot that said, I would like my game split. So I have a feeling he's been doing a lot of thinking after his matchup against Nightend.
Okay. Looks like both of these guys are just going to do their vetoes and so on. So I guess you guys should go over to shoutcraft.com while we sort out the vetoes and so on. Yeah,
please, by all means, head over to shoutcraft.com and you will see wonderful things there. The tip jars are available for those of you who wish to donate to the players. There's also, of course, the donation link available for Shoutcraft future events. And we're going to be hopefully putting on some show matches as well. We've got all sorts of ideas. I mentioned on the little video that we did before this tournament the idea of SHOUTcraft 5 BarCraft, which is, we haven't got it confirmed yet. It's looking likely, though, that SHOUTcraft 5 may be hosted from inside of BarCraft, which I believe would be a first.
Yes,
for the StarCraft 2 scene.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yep, I mean, Home Story Cup, of course, had a BarCraft beneath it. We're going to do the tournament in the bar.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened before.
I don't think so.
I'm quite sure about that.
I think it makes...
Maybe some small little LAN or something, but nothing of this scale.
Nothing major. I think that if anyone's got to do that first, it's got to be the British.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Yep. You can find us in that pub. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit.
And I am D Apollo.
We're going to a quick ad break, and then we'll be playing some music while we set up the next series of games. You're watching SHOUTcraft Invitational number 4.